7 extreme sports you should do before you die. Why extreme experiences change people. There is a moment right before you do something genuinely dangerous, when the world becomes unusually quiet. Your senses sharpen, your breathing becomes louder, time feels slower, and suddenly you are not thinking about emails, deadlines, or expectations. You are thinking only about survival and presence. Extreme sports are not only about adrenaline, they are about perspective. They force you into pure awareness. They strip away distraction and push you into raw existence. This is partly psychological because your body releases survival hormones, and partly emotional because fear forces clarity. Extreme sports are not for everyone, but if approached responsibly, they can become powerful experiences that reshape how you understand fear, control, and confidence. First, skydiving, the art of letting go, jumping from an airplane at thousands of meters above the ground is not natural for humans, and that is exactly why it changes you. During free fall, your brain releases intense neurochemical signals, including adrenaline and dopamine. The result is not just fear. It is hyper awareness. You become fully present because your brain has no choice. Skydiving teaches something rare. It teaches surrender combined with trust. You trust your equipment, your training, and your ability to remain calm inside the house. People often describe landing after skydiving as emotionally transformative. The world feels quieter, problems feel smaller. You realize how much fear exists only in imagination. Second, free solo climbing. Absolute mental focus. Climbing without ropes is one of the most mentally demanding sports ever created. There is no backup system, no safety net, just you, rock, gravity, and decision making. This creates extreme cognitive demand. Every movement must be calculated. Every grip must be intentional. One mistake matters. Free solo climbing forces total concentration. There is no space for overthinking. There is only movement and survival. Many climbers say free solo moments are the only times they feel completely mentally silent. Third, peak wave surfing. Surfing giant waves is not about fighting the ocean. It's about understanding it. Timing, positioning, respect. Peak wave surfers develop intense environmental awareness. They read wind patterns, water movement, and wave structure. This creates deep risk perception skills. They learn to recognize real danger versus emotional fear. That distinction is valuable far beyond sports. The ocean doesn't care about ego, and that is part of the lesson. Fourth, wingsuit flying. Wingsuit flying is probably the closest humans will ever get to flying like birds, but it demands extreme control and training. It requires advanced proprioceptive awareness. You must understand your body's position in space constantly. Small movements create massive directional changes. Wingsuit flyers describe the experience as peaceful, not chaotic. Once you are stable in the air, it feels like controlled floating rather than falling. It's one of the rare moments humans experience true three-dimensional movement freedom. Fifth, ice climbing. Climbing frozen waterfalls combines physical strength, technical precision, and emotional control. Ice can break, weather can change quickly, surfaces shift. Ice climbing teaches environmental humility. It forces you to become adaptive in real time. You cannot control the mountain. You can only adjust to it. This builds emotional calm under pressure because panic wastes energy and creates mistakes. 6. Base jumping. Base jumping is one of the most controversial extreme sports because it involves extremely high risk. It requires a light preparation and should never be attempted casually. But psychologically, it represents direct confrontation with fear. It's an exercise in controlled risk acceptance. This creates powerful psychological self awareness. People learn where fear ends and imagination begins. This creates powerful psychological self awareness. People learn where fear ends and imagination begins. It's not about recklessness, it's about understanding limits. Seventh, ultra endurance racing. Running or cycling for extreme distance is less about adrenaline and more about mental endurance. Hours of repetition, pain, fatigue, isolation. Ultra-endurance sports build extreme resilience. You learn to continue when motivation disappears, when comfort disappears, when quitting becomes logical. And that lesson applies to life far beyond sport. I once met a guy who completed an ultra marathon after years of anxiety and self doubt. He said something simple but powerful. He said the race didn't make him stronger physically, it made him trust himself mentally. He said finishing that race changed how he approached every difficult situation afterward: job stress, relationship problems, and personal fear. Everything felt more manageable because he had proof he could survive discomfort. That is the deeper power of extreme sport. Why extreme sports change identity? Extreme sports force confrontation with mortality, limitation, and uncertainty. This often triggers existential reflection. People begin questioning what matters, what doesn't, and what they actually want from life. Many people return from extreme experiences less focused on external validation and more focused on personal meaning. Fear becomes information instead of enemy. Extreme sports simplify decision making. You focus on survival, movement, and environment. Nothing else matters. This temporary simplicity can reset overwhelmed minds. It reminds you that humans are built for challenge, not just comfort. Modern life removes many survival challenges. Extreme sport reintroduces controlled versions of them. You don't need to chase danger to live fully, but stepping outside comfort occasionally reminds you how strong you actually are. Extreme sports are not about proving bravery, they are about discovering a capacity. They are about understanding fear instead of avoiding it. And sometimes standing at the edge of something terrifying reminds you how alive you already are. New academic words, psychological, related to body function and biological process. Example, psychological stress responses increase during skydiving. Neurochemical, related to brain chemical reactions. Example, neurochemical signals create adrenaline rush. Cognitive, related to thinking and decision making. Example, cognitive focus is required in free solo climbing. Existential, related to life meaning and existence. Example, existential reflection often follows extreme experiences. Risk perception, understanding and evaluating danger levels. Example, risk perception improves with experiences. Proprioceptive, awareness of body position in space. Example, proprioceptive, proprioceptive control is essential in wingsuit flying. Adaptive, ability to adjust to changing conditions. Ability to adjust to changing conditions. Example, adaptive thinking helps in ice climbing. Psychological, related to mind and emotions. Psychological control prevents panic. Resilience, ability to recover from difficulty. Example, resilience develops through endurance sports.